Hey there, I'm Mr. Terry, I'm a high school history teacher. Welcome back to another History Teacher Explains Memes video. All right, today's compilation comes from VaazkL. Be sure to like that original video and subscribe to that channel. By the way, make sure you are hitting notifications on my channel because my videos are not being promoted in the algorithm right now, especially if you've just been looking for videos on the homepage and not the subscription page. All right, here we go. All right, here's the first one. Map of every recorded battle in history. I've seen this map before. It's actually really cool. Now, you might be like, wow, Europe, they fought a lot there. Well, it's just because there's a lot of recorded history of those things. I'm sure if this was, really every, battle that ever happened, this whole map would just be one big blob.
The map of every recorded battle in history. It's missing the dot of me in the bathroom right now. Describe world history in a few words. Knock knock. It's Europe. Who is the bad guy?
Imperialism. Oh, we all know what video that's from, right?
Describe world.
We all know Bill Wirtz.
World history in a few words. Knock knock. It's Europe. Who is the bad guy in history who isn't actually a bad guy? A glorious death in battle. Most warriors.
Wait. What was the answer?
Bad guy in history who isn't actually a bad guy.
Do you guys get it?
Knock knock. It's Europe. Who is the bad guy in history who isn't actually a bad guy?
I wonder what they typed. Oh, they didn't say it? I want to know from you guys. Let me know down below. Who's a bad guy in history who's actually isn't a bad guy? Oh man, that could get really bad, couldn't it?
A glorious death in battle. Most warriors and kings throughout history. Deadly diarrhea. Newly discovered cave paintings.
Or people die disease of anything else?
Was battling a lot of inner demons when you have to conquer Mongolia.
So this is what I've wondered. Okay, so a lot of people love the mystical nature of glyphs, into rock formations from ancient people, and they have these other meanings. I try to tell people too, hey, they were ordinary people. They went through the same things we did. So I would not be actually surprised to think that's just what it was. And it had no other deeper meaning than that. Life sucks for a lot of people at a lot of times all across history.
Paintings suggest early man was battling a lot of inner demons when you have to conquer Mongolia, but the cat needs a walk first.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I have not seen this. Wait, I did not know. So I privy myself to be one that really knows a lot about the Mongols. I did not know about cat culture. They never invaded Egypt. I mean, they tried to get Egypt. They got destroyed by the Mamluks. Maybe they picked it up there. I also like that he's holding it in a very dainty manner. Plus, if you notice his samurai head thing there, his helmet, sorry, he has cat ears. This dude is like one of those. The Mongols were furries, confirmed.
Those cat ears. Use over time for the word bruh. Bruh, 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 bruh. Swedish king Adolf Fredrik died in 1777 after eating 17 cinnamon buns.
I mean, haven't we all done that? You probably just discovered it.
In 1895, there were only 2 cars in the entire state of Ohio. Despite this, they still managed to crash into each other. Fun
fact. I show this in my classes. If any of you are former students in my classes, I like to show this when we talk about the Industrial Revolution and the invention of the car. I think this is so funny. 2 cars in the whole state, they happen to crash into each other.
Screams were invented in 300,000 BC. People in 3001 BC. I'd love to go back in time and blow people's minds with my incredible knowledge. What? Ancient Greek astrologers.
Yeah, I've seen this before. And there was a bubble that was like, how does electricity work? And or something like that. He's like, well, I don't know. Like, oh, then what actual knowledge are you giving us here?
Go back in time and blow people's minds with my incredible knowledge. What? Ancient Greek astrologers be like, ah yes, a goat. A Western tourist who paid to take a photo with samurai armor. 1890, probably the first documented weeb in history.
First documented. Boo. Okay, at least Tom Cruise in Last Samurai looked kind of cool doing it. 1890, by the way, this is when Japan had opened up. The Americans forced that opening up a few decades before this. They loved going in. The country got ripped open. The Brits, the Americans are coming in. They thought all that stuff was cool. And unfortunately, here's the irony to this. The Westerners supported the war against the samurai to defeat them. They tried to put up a resistance against all this westernization, modernization, and they ended up dying. And so, yeah, they're like literally taking on the culture that they in turn ended up destroying. Irony.
True. If you ever feel useless, remember that Mongolia has a navy. The only reason why the pyramids exist.
There's some precedent for this. The Mongolians did have a navy. Kublai Khan tried to invade Japan. He tried twice and was destroyed both times. So maybe there's just one more ship left there. Although I do love in the bottom there's a little submarine. So I do have a question, though, if it's modern Navy. Where do they keep it? they have a deal with the Russians or like the Chinese?
Useless. Remember that Mongolia has a navy. Fools. The only reason why the pyramids exist in Egypt is because they were too heavy for the British people
Literally
to
true.
steal and put in the
Literally
British
true. They have the capstone in the British Museum to one of those pyramids, right? I forget which pyramid that the actual capstone of one. I don't know if it's one of the pyramids. It would have been one of the ones at Giza. They have the capstone to it. So there's been a debate. I've actually asked this on my channel. Do you guys think museums should give artifacts back to countries that request their return? Let me know down below.
museums. Does this annoy anyone else as much as it annoys me? Real ancient battle versus TV shows ancient battles.
Yep.
Doesn't annoy me because I don't care.
Because, you know, what do you see in the what do you see in those battles? It's just a bunch of individual hand-to-hand combat, and it's just like, you ever wondered why they even would fight like that? It's like just 1-2 guys. Well, how about you go just kill that guy that's not even paying attention to you next to him? Yes.
Those ancient battles doesn't annoy me because I don't care.
I'm not that nerdy.
Archaeologists have uncovered the first known temple to an important pre-Hispanic deity called the Flayed Lord, who is represented by a skinless corpse. You need to put that thing right the fuck back. Sun Tzu's The Art of War.
No,
make sure you have the high ground. Genius. Thank you.
No. Don't talk bad about the Art of War like that, okay? Hey, if you don't want to go too deep, go listen to Art of War. Go listen by Sabaton. They have clips of all the really good sayings from there that, you know, they're sound things even to today, even though it was written centuries ago, about some really good tactics and things to think about. Don't do this to Sun Tzu.
Can you imagine how hot we all would have seemed like 600 years ago? Before,
Philip
my
the
paintings
Handsome.
mean the victory of Rome over the barbarians. Now, oh yeah, a banana with tape. So meaningful. Historical footage of the lost T-Rex.
I believe that was actually an art exhibit, right?
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that actually an art exhibit somewhere?
Yeah, a banana with tape. So meaningful. Historical footage of the lost T-Rex serving his country in World War I.
I love that. The first, what is this next one? The first image I show in my first lesson of every year is dinosaurs with lasers. And I tell the students, that's how, you know, they're going to believe me. It's the first day of history class in high school. This is what the beginning was like. People riding dinosaurs with lasers. Yet another cycling skill that has been lost over the over the years. I mean, lost. I mean, we were doing that on horses.
Another cycling skill that has been lost over the years. A woman practicing cutting off a head while riding a bicycle. The more things change, the more they stay the same. People thousands of years from now will think we worshipped Scooby-Doo. Absolutely no one. Not a single soul on Earth. Europeans eating pulverized mummies in the 19th century. Step 1.
Wait, what?
Earth. Europeans eating pulverized mummies in the 19th century.
They actually did this? You know, they would get the mummies, and I thought it would just be like, you know, an accident. Maybe, you know, you had the mummy ashes, and it's next to the salt and pepper, and you're just like... I mean, they were part god, so maybe by consuming it, you become part god.
True. Step 1. Make yourself an emperor. Step 2. Start winning. Step 3. Lose once. Step 4. History nerds will turn 14 and then base their personalities on one of these.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. So...
4. History nerds...
You know, so my students, there's only a handful, okay, that are going to be to this level. But I'm active on Discord, and there's a lot of young people on my Discord server. And it does seem like you have fallen into one of these. You're a Rome simp, a Viking simp, some kind of World War II simp, or you're a weeb, right? You're one of those 4. There is one other I should kind of maybe add to that. It's you Napoleon simps. Holy cow, you guys are on another level too.
Will turn 14 and then base their personalities on one of these. The Amber Bear Amulet, 3,500 years old. The Forbidden Gummy Bear. The only open-minded president we've ever had. That's one
They were both shot in the head.
way to say it. Neanderthals.
Hey, y'all realize how close we were? Well, I guess he wasn't president anymore. President Trump
The only
turned his head just enough to make it not on this list.
open-minded president we've ever had. That's one way to say it. Neanderthals may have been morning people, says new study. Pirates in fiction.
All right, hold on. You can't just zoom past this.
Neanderthals.
Let's look at the infographic. Okay, Virgin Modern Man wakes up by alarm, stays up till 3 a.m., Victim of agriculture, skinny fat, has to make daily conversation, receding hairline, wear spandex blended clothing. Okay, weird. Chad Cavemen, up at the crack of dawn, sees the splendor of the sunrise, eat healthy animal fats, wears fashionable loincloth, never had a midlife crisis because he never made it to midlife. Low body fat, ooga booga. Which one? Okay, so I know a lot of you are that left one, but would you rather be the right one?
May have been morning people, says new study. Pirates in fiction. I'm going to steal all of your money, then eat you alive. No, you are a maniac. Pirates in reality. Regarding the economic crisis we are facing, I have no other choice but to rob you. Don't worry, I won't hurt you. I'm not a savage. No problem. I know there's nothing personal though. It's never too late to follow your dreams.
Vlad.
Vlad the Impaler didn't even start impaling people until his mid-30s.
See, it's the thing. I mean, it's a midlife crisis. I mean, who doesn't, when they turn their mid-30s, just start impaling people? I mean, you can blame the Ottomans for that. That's what he was trying to do.
Please, listen to the natives and don't eat polar bear liver. Get a horrific vitamin A poisoning. English Arctic explorers. A Germanic man sculpted by a Roman sculptor versus sculpted by a Germanic sculptor. The answer...
German, stop doing art. Come on. Just stop it. Stop doing sculptures. Leave it to the Mediterranean folks. You guys do you have some pretty cool architecture. The Gothic stuff. I mean, I'm not super a huge fan of it as much as because you just made everything Gothic style.
Have never been their strong suit. Sun Tzu quotes, which are better to be known when young, to not regret when old. Pythagoras quotes, you should know before you get old.
You never trust a friend who is silent. Never trust a friend who speaks. Okay, who's right here? We got Sun Tzu or we got Pythagoras. Is this the difference between Western philosophy and Eastern philosophy? I'm really confused now because I could see both of these being true and both of these being wrong.
They're the same. Medieval fashion. Nice dress. Thanks. It's slick. Meanwhile, in Japan, let me see those gums. I don't get it. Antarctic Central.
Hold
Thanks. It's slick. Meanwhile, in Japan.
Okay, I don't know this. Was blackened teeth a thing? I do not know. I'm not caught up or very literate on medieval Japanese oral fashion.
Let me see those gums. I don't get it. Antarctic-centric worldview. Map of the world when the emperor penguins finally live up to their name. Yeah. Never forget, on November 16th, 1949, a bunch of Belgian students from Ghent took over a fortress and attacked the police with fruit because the city had raised the price of beer.
Okay, anyone else get these vibes? This is the Belgian storming of the Bastille. It's just about beer instead of ammunition. Good job, Belgium.
The invention of archery. I really want to stab that guy, but he's way over there. Maybe I'll get some food at that campfire. What's the worst that can happen? 10,000 years later.
Oh no!
The emperor in real life,
do you guys ever just forget? I mean, go ahead. If you have your dog with you, go ahead and look at your dog. Imagine that thing was once a wolf at some point. We ruined them.
What's the worst
we
that
ruined
can happen
wolves.
10,000 years later? The
Wolves
emperor in
were
real
cool.
life versus the emperor on coins. I feel like people do not fully understand how much life changed for our species between 1900s and the 2000s. I struggle to comprehend it.
You know what? This is something I bring up in my class too. When we're talking about the Industrial Revolution, you know how earlier I was talking about the cars that hit each other and just like how mind-bending some of that stuff is. The thing when you look about that industrial era, our modern era, the technology that maybe has advanced the most is flight. I mean, for the most part, like cars, they haven't changed that much since the original cars, like not that much. Flight, you could have lived, okay, easily. There's a bunch of people that lived at a time when they were young, they saw the first ever flights. We're talking these 20-second flights by the Wright brothers here. And by the time you die, 1969, you saw an astronaut fly to the moon and back. Think about that growth in that technology. Going from no flight to flying to the moon and back. One generation.
These events are 66 years apart. Tomato Europe versus potato Europe. This is a good map. I totally could have been a doctor.
You potato or tomato guy?
The souls are growing worse. I shall smack them with mint. And if this doesn't work, that means God wants him to die.
See, it makes sense. I mean, the plague, man. They literally tried everything. Normal doctors were like, whatever. They actually made it a lot worse. They would like cut open the spores or the boils, the buboes. Make it worse with that. The mint, I mean, this person should probably have the mask. You guys know the pointy mask? That was for putting incense and like stuff inside that they thought would like filter out the disease for the doctor there, who's going to end up contracting it anyways. What these people just obviously needed to do was just had to quarantine. So what they had to do. But, it's the Middle Ages. Everybody had dogmatic views. In fact, one of my favorite things I like showing or having my students do is look at different parts of the world and how their doctors of that time, talking 1300s, what they said about the plague, how to treat it, where it came from. It's amazing how different all of them were. One thing they all did was blame each other.
Amen. I tried baking a skull cake, but instead, I ended up with a pharaoh from 1500 BC. Me, weird history facts. Innocent people. 14-year-olds know.
Okay, history people. I feel like I'm an elder in the history community here, because if you're watching this video, you're probably younger. You're a young history nerd like I was, one day. But I got to give you some advice. Please be normal. Don't ruin history for the rest of us that aren't throwing it in people's face with a "I didn't ask" type of response from the person you're yelling history facts. Please be normal.
Haha, you don't have a girlfriend. No, she is from another school. You do not know her. No. 14-year-olds in the Middle Ages. I was your wife, Dad. This will always be one of my favorite historical fun facts. The Thagomizer is the name for the spikes on a Stegosaurus dinosaur. It didn't have a historical name until the cartoonist Gary Loss did a comic about it, named it, and the scientific community just accepted it and started using it. The saddest book cover series in history. The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire.
I love that. So this is a super famous book set, okay, about the Decline of the Fall of the Roman Empire. It's like historical for like famous history books. One of the best things they did in the art was design the volumes to look like this. All right, guys, this is where we're going to stop it. We got more to check out of this collection. If you want to see it, how you're going to let me know is give it a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up. Sub to the channel. Let me know you want to see more historical memes. We'll see y'all next time.